This is the Flabbergasted Podcast, where we just can't believe you haven't seen it.
Every episode, we discuss a movie that one of us has seen and the other hasn't.
And sometimes that neither of us have seen.
Follow us on Instagram
At Flabberpod.
and subscribe in your podcast app of choice. I'm your host, Jessica.
I'm your host, Rogge. Let's get to it.
Okay, we are talking about the 1998 released Good Will Hunting with Matt Damon, Robin Williams, Ben Affleck, Stellan Skarsgård, Minnie Driver. This film had
Casey Affleck,
Cole Hauser. This film had 9 Oscar nominations, and it won Best Supporting Actor for Robin Williams and Best Screenplay for Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
and they were so young.
They are babies.
That's something I didn't realize before this was like how much this was their brainchild when they were so young.
Yeah, so they're originally from that area, I thought, ish.
Yeah, I mean, they're famously from Boston,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, but I think it's a very interesting story. You had never seen this movie, know anything about it. How do you know about it?
I knew things about it. I mean, like, I knew that it was about a guy that was incredibly smart. I didn't know that it was about trauma. I thought it was more about he's really smart, but he's undiscovered. And then what does discovering him look like? And then he gets famous for being so smart.
Okay.
And so I didn't know that it was about him, like, finding himself after having been in foster care and stuff like that. So that was a surprise to me. I knew that he came. I just assumed it was like, oh, well, his teachers didn't recognize it in him because he was more, he had bad behaviors in school or something, and being from a poverty-stricken area, there just weren't people that noticed and were able to figure out what his deal was. But it turns out that wasn't exactly what it was about. I mean, I feel like it's just famous enough that the concept, the very broad strokes concept, I'd heard of, but I didn't really know about the therapy part.
Yeah. Well, you just know he's a smart guy. Like, that's the big thing that's on everything, I think, that when people talk about the movie. I'm pretty sure I saw this movie at a theater.
Ooh.
I don't want to get too crazy, though, but I'm pretty sure I saw it with my cousin Holly. If I didn't, because I could just be making that up, I just have strong memories of at least watching it with her if we didn't see it together for the first time.
Back when people just came up with an idea and made a movie about it, and not every single thing had to be IP and sequels.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this was I'm going to say very original, but I hadn't seen anything really like it.
Yeah.
I mean, also 98, of course, I hadn't seen anything like it. But even since, it's still pretty specific. Like, there's a lot of things that make it just it.
Yeah, I think the niche that exists that's adjacent now is movies about people that are very smart, usually tend more towards into investigating like autism and things like that. And it's less about, I don't know, like the trauma and the process, like the nitty gritty of like what your life looks like when you're this smart, but this committed to not taking advantage of academia.
Yeah.
You don't see that very much.
No, I'm with you. I agree.
I wrote that it's about the nature of genius. Another theme was your brain can be both good and bad at being a brain at the same time.
That's interesting.
I don't know if that's anything. And then just trauma.
Trauma is a big one. So, yeah, there's so many things that I like about this movie. But I think it's one of the things that I really enjoy. Do we just want to jump into stuff we like, or do you want to go through anything?
Oh, all good.
I like when they're at the bar and he's slamming that guy for just regurgitating things that he has read. But then at his second session with Robin Williams, he's doing the same thing to Robin Williams. And Robin Williams is like, you don't know this stuff.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's like, it's sort of hypocritical that he's being that way, but at the same time, it's like not hypocritical on purpose. Like, he's not being hypocritical on purpose. He's using it as a defense mechanism.
It feels like it's It feels like that they're running a game that they often do, where they go to the bar and Ben Affleck is hitting up this girl, and then they come in and sort of wingman, but they're at Harvard this time, so the Harvard guy acts like he's going to step in. And then he's just off the cuff, like this is just how he would naturally react to someone that he thinks is being pretentious. Because even though he's so intelligent, he hates pretentiousness.
Yeah.
Or he thinks he does.
He really, yeah.
He thinks he hates academia. He thinks he hates his mental image of stuffed collar, highfalutin, looking down on people, academic person.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is both so easy for him, and he's seen people look down on his friends, which are the people that really care about him, that he values.
He definitely has a problem with people that think they're better than him.
For sure.
Even if he's projecting that.
Yes, absolutely. And an authority complex.
Yeah.
To some extent, I think, which has got to be from like a parental figure standpoint too.
Yeah.
And then just the way that he was in the court system as well around that.
So I have some notes, like even just going back, but the bar scene is of course always one of the favorites, but he sort of has like this, is it like this James Dean 1950s kind of vibe with his shirt, his t-shirt tucked in, and it's not like overly loose, and it's not like, it's not like crazy tight, but it's like fitted for sure. And kind of the jacket, the way he's wearing it. I just thought that looked very...
I think Ben Affleck too looks really good. I mean, his hair is like really, he clearly spends time and money like making sure his hair looks right.
Yes.
Despite being, he's like literally breaking rocks and like, and knocking down walls, and is just the most grunt construction laborer.
Is this like controlling one of the things that you can control?
Yeah, and how it's all about the appearances. Like you don't want to be labeled as... I can already tell this guy is poor or low class when you go out to the bar or whatever. There's
so much swearing, which I don't initially have a problem with, but it's a lot. Like it took me a minute to remember.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the movie I'm watching, and I have to like pay attention because there's also a lot of slang.
Yeah, you get numb to the swear. It's so clear that they're not doing it for shock effect.
Oh, yeah.
It's just this is how these people talk. Yeah.
So let's see. I also had back to the bar scene, of course, because that's sort of where I started taking notes, and then I just stopped taking notes again because it's one of those movies where you just
want to watch it.
Yeah. But I really appreciate that he put the guy in his place. Will does. And then Ben's character, though, like he doesn't get crappy that his buddy like had to like step in and like make him look. He's like, meh, it happens.
These are guys that we already saw will fully like punch people in the face. Like they will fully beat each other up, beat people up without a lot of context. He's like, that's Carmine. He used to shove me in lockers in high school. And they're like, okay, bet. We're driving around. We see him. We're jumping directly out of the car.
Yeah. And we're going to.
So clearly they've got each other's backs. There's a real level of trust and like camaraderie there with the two of them.
I would have been interested to see like this backstory of how they became the friends that they are.
Yeah, I wrote that you kind of know everything and nothing about their backstory and them that you need to. Because we don't learn a lot at all about Ben Affleck's character. And what we get about Matt Damon is just in dribs and drabs. The details don't matter really. Because you're like, okay, he's an orphan and he had these foster parents. Was it just the one foster dad that beat him?
You don't even get until like further in the movie.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter that it was a foster dad or his real dad that was beating on him, or just some drunk, or a boss or whoever, right? It doesn't like the movie hinges or there's some kind of reveal or film noir based on like specific details. It's not that kind of movie. It's just about, because from the beginning you're like, okay, he's troubled. He's going to go to jail if he doesn't go to therapy, but can he put up with going to therapy? And is he actually going to have some real realizations about who he is at any point? And you're just seeing him live and struggle through his life.
Yeah.
As he does those things.
I like that I think it's interesting that he, is doing the math. Like that's the job he picked, which is something they point out. You picked to push a broom at one of the most, prestigious colleges, And like, there's a reason you did that. So he obviously has a hunger. He's reading all the books that he can read at the public library, he has that. He wants it.
Yeah, right. You have to seek out books on philosophy and stuff the way that he does. And that's what I think is really cool about sort of the script and the plotting of the whole thing is that you start kind of in the middle of it. It doesn't start with, my name's Goodwill Hunting. I grew up in the system. Right. I grew up and my dad was that. Like, you just get dropped in, and that same thing is what it's about the whole time. But it does also narrow in until eventually when Robin Williams says, okay, but you could have done anything. Why are you choosing to be a janitor at Harvard, specifically in the math department? Yeah. You know that you actually want some of this. That's right. As a listener, you're like, or a watcher, oh, yeah, that was an amazing point the whole time, but we had to build to it. Yeah. And you could have said that in the very beginning. Stellan Skarsgård could have led with that, right? Oh, yeah. Why is this, why didn't you just apply for something? Or why are you going about this the back route? And you're kidding yourself. You're pretending you're above this, but you're not. But the fact that it slow rolls and just walks us to it until the film is being distilled down into this key point, which is we realize at the same time as Will that he does have ambition of being a meaningful member of society. But how can he emotionally come to that point? Yeah.
Yeah, because he what's the word? I don't want to say he overanalyzes it, but he spirals.
Yeah.
When he thinks about how he can contribute, what he can do.
He self-sabotages.
From where he's at, and it's like, why even try at that point?
It's because the intellectual and emotional sides of his brain are so disconnected. Emotionally, the only people that care about me in the whole world are Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, and this other guy. And I know those are the only people that care about me. Yeah. So if I get too involved in anything academically, that's going to take me away from them, and that's unacceptable. So I think from an early age, he learned that academics are evil because they are not Ben Affleck.
Because they're a direct conflict of where he finds safe.
They keep conflicting with this, and so that's why he's been pushing them away this whole time. When I've been telling people I've been watching this, then they'll be like, oh, what was your favorite scene? Did you like, how about them apples? And people love the different scenes. My favorite scene that I wrote down is a comedy piece, is when Matt doesn't want to go to one of the interviews that Stellan Skarsgård sets him up with. So he sends Ben Affleck in the suit. Yes. And he's just like spewing business jargon. Yeah. And being like retainer and like gets the cash from him and stuff. And he's just so funny. Ben Affleck, I think, is so good. He is dialed into who this guy is.
Yeah.
With needing no background about it. He just has it all upstairs. But the other favorite scene is not anything with Robin Williams, who I think is good, but isn't what the movie's about for me. It's when they're smoking after getting off the construction site. And Ben Affleck is like, you know what the best part of my day is? When I park and for about 10 seconds, you might not be home.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. That's when Matt Damon realizes it. And that's just real. Like the friendship that they have is so earned.
Yeah.
And real. I just really appreciate it.
I'm going to say yeah again because like it.
Because it's sick.
It is. It's all really good. It's such a good movie. Things I noticed, I don't really know what my favorite scene is. I loved so many little bits and pieces of the whole thing.
Do you love the therapy stuff?
I really enjoy the part where they're sitting on the bench and Robin Williams is like, you said something to me and it really upset me.
Yeah.
And then I remembered something and I haven't thought about you since.
Yeah.
And I love that because I think that, I guess to me, when I think of this movie after having watched it, I see so many things I didn't see the first times I watched it, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Who, let's be honest, I was watching it for Matt Damon,
That middle part.
Yeah.
It's come back. It came back in.
I wasn't processing all of it like I am now through adult eyes who's had some like more life experiences than just, growing up and watching a movie. So I love that he says that, and he's like, but I haven't thought of you since. And he's like, you don't know what this is like. You haven't felt this. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, it's basically really ridiculous for you to take my existence and boil it down to something you read in a book. And it's like,
I have a quote that I typed because I love that scene.
Yeah, go for it.
He says, "You're an orphan, right? So do I know everything about your life story because I read Oliver Twist?" And you can see Matt Damon being like, "Oh, for a crap, he's right.
Yeah.
He's so right." Yeah. Like, he looks like he's 16. He looks like he's about to start bawling in a way that this character's never let himself cry and connect with that kind of emotion.
He has been called out for his behavior.
Yeah, by someone that is really seeing him and isn't just like mad that he's smart or trying to take advantage of him or whatever.
So I really like that scene because I think it helps us remember that we can have perception of people and we can make our own judgments about them for ourselves. Like if you consistently meet up with somebody you think is being selfish and you don't want to, pursue a relationship with them in your life, like you have to make that judgment. But at the same time, it's like you should be careful and not just make snap judgments about people because you just don't know.
Which is what Stellan Skarsgård isn't bothering to look into him and like read beyond. He's a math genius. That's all I need to know about this guy. That's why you don't trust him. Do we trust Stellan Skarsgård? He is an interesting character the whole time.
I don't remember the exact thing, but here's why I don't trust him. Right after the problem gets solved, the 3 students go to him at the alumni event.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's Saturday. You don't need to work on Saturday unless you want to get a drink later.
Yeah.
And he's like, then it got just like super shady. But then he pulls that again.
Yeah.
I don't remember again exactly what it is.
He just wants to sleep with his students.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like you.
And he's a jerk. He uses Robin Williams when he needs him, but he's a jerk to him when he thinks that he can cut deep.
Yeah.
And he's really it's fair that Will doesn't like him. Because he's Mr. I'm the Fields Medal, like I'm the smartest guy in the world, and really plays that up like that. That's his personality. And that is the exact opposite of who Will is. He doesn't care or want anyone to know that he's so smart.
Yeah. The part where he says, he makes this comment about how he wished he'd never met him because he wouldn't have to see him throw away all this potential.
Yeah.
Now, as a teacher that you've been teaching, I did coaching, and stuff like that, you have to like really put boundaries in your brain because you can't take that on. Like people are going to make their own decisions. And even though like you see potential in them and you want the best for them, you have to like really be careful about how much you let yourself get invested in it because at the end of the day, they have to own their own decisions and you can't own it for them.
Yeah. I don't do a good job of putting up boundaries with my emotions with my students, as good of a job as I should. But it's not because unlike Stellan Skarsgård, who cares so much about the content and him being a math genius, I don't care if my students are Spanish geniuses. I don't really care about what grades they're getting. I care about them mature. I mean, I teach middle school, right? I care about them maturing and like realizing what empathy is and understanding the concept of taking responsibility for your actions. And so when I see there's some kids that I think
it's unrealized potential, whether you're talking about intellectual.
It's just a different kind.
Yeah.
It's an emotional intelligence part, unrealized potential. And so I get really frustrated. I'll take it down the hallway and be like, have I been a jerk to you? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, then why are you being a jerk to me? Like I get it gets personal for me because I'm like, I am treating you appropriately. Right. And I'm asking you things that we have agreed. You would agree with me. What I'm asking you to do is fair and reasonable as from a teacher-student perspective. So I'm just asking you to do it. And the fact that you won't, there's nothing I can do but take that personally, And they all just go, well, I don't know. Why are you still doing this? I don't know. Why are you just yelling? Do you do this in every class where you just yell out your answers and you don't like give the teacher the respect? I don't know. You're like, I hate that you're saying I don't know because I know that you know better. Yeah. If it's a kid that I know doesn't know better, then my standards for them are way lower. If it's a kid that you can see that light in their eyes that are like, you're acting out, but I know that it's within you to understand how what you're doing affects other people. and you still don't do it, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's real frustrating.
And then there's something else going on. You don't know what it is. And that's the thing, too, when Matt Damon says he's yelling at Stellan Skarsgård and he says,
this is so easy for me.
It's so easy for me. I don't want to have to dumb it down and explain it to you all the time.
Yeah. So he burns in.
Yeah. And it might be true.
Yeah.
It might be true. But at some point during that interaction, during those scenes where they're doing math together, he does look like he's enjoying this ability to talk to somebody that understands what he's talking about.
And impressing someone that culturally has some sort of cachet or power because they're known to be so intelligent. Yeah. The movie does a good job of not getting bogged down in the math or getting bogged down in like, this is how Will is smart. He's dumb at this, but he's smart. No, he's just pretty much smart at stuff. He has whatever you call it, where you can just flip through a book and like photographic memory. And that's fine. And he just remembers all the things. We're good, you know?
And we accept that as the audience.
Yes.
We accept that and we're not asking questions about it.
He's just like an old school genius, like an Isaac Newton, or who are the like the kind of geniuses that could like write and also do math and also were artists, and you know, a Da Vinci,
like the Renaissance man kind of concept.
Yeah, he's just smart.
Yeah.
But not in a way that we so often want to like pin it down. I have kids that are like, oh, I'm really good at math, but I'm really bad at language. I'm like, no, like if you're smart, you can just be smart. Like it's fine. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah.
So Robin Williams, I've always been kind of mixed on. He's held kind of up in this pantheon. I feel like he has a reputation of he's some people's favorite comedian. They just think he's so funny. And a lot of his stuff is so shtick based. It's talking fast and making references. And I've never gotten part of it is just that I don't love like comedies, but I've never gotten the like, oh, I'm impressed with this guy's wit. He just is talking faster. He's doing slapstick stuff. And sometimes, you know, he's funny in some things, but other times it just gets old. And so I was worried that it was going to get old in here.
Yeah.
But he keeps it pretty grounded. I could do without the beard, I think. I think the beard is doing a lot of work making him look like someone who could be a therapist or professor. But it's because he's not trying to do shtick. He's just trying to level with Matt Damon. He's just trying to be a guy that isn't talking down to him or therapizing him or taking advantage of him, but that is just trying to relate to him because he has some of the same life experiences. And since he's trying to be pretty normal, I think he's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Was he, of the various supporting actors, where would you rank them? Robin Williams, Ben Affleck, Stellan Skarsgård, in terms of like how good they were in this movie.
But that means if I'm rating them, I'm comparing them to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm asking you to directly compare the quality of their acting performances.
I think Robin Williams is top notch. I think Stellan Skarsgård is probably next.
You have Ben third? Wow, I was going to have Ben first.
Yeah.
I love Ben Affleck in this, but he's barely in it.
Because I don't necessarily... That's sort of who I see him as.
Was this your first exposure to Ben Affleck?
I'm sure it was, because it's probably his first...
Like major motion picture production?
Yeah.
We've got producer Jeremy on it. He's checking for us. What is my first exposure to Ben Affleck? I quote unquote, very loose quotes, had a girlfriend when I was in 7th grade. We never held hands or went on a date without my brother of any kind. But I did watch a movie in her basement with her, with Ben Affleck. It was a Christmas movie where he was at the girlfriend's family's house and they were like stuck there for a while and he was crappy about it. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking.
Like a mid-2000s Ben Affleck's Christmas movie.
Oh, I don't know that it was it his first one you're saying?
Ben Affleck's first acting role.
He was in School Ties.
Surviving Christmas? I think I saw Surviving Christmas. That was my first exposure to Ben Affleck. But he also looks distractingly like my cousin Steven. Shout out Steven.
Okay. He was in, hold on a second. Hang with me for a second. I've never seen that movie. He was in School Ties, which I saw after Good Will Hunting, but that came out before. That had Matt Damon, Brendan Fraser, and Ben Affleck, so that was really fun.
I don't know School Ties.
Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dazed and Confused.
How tall is Ben Affleck?
6'3".
I'm 6'3". I'm almost 6'3". So we're probably the same height. If he's saying he's 6'3", he's probably 6'2".
And then Good Will Hunting. So this is probably the first time this is the first movie I've seen him in and been able to know that that's who it is. So for me, if I'm testing his acting chops against these other people that I've seen in movies, I'm like, meh. Like, that's who I kind of default him to now.
Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of people, is that all the Matt and Ben stuff, you think of them as a pair, you think of them together, they've been in stuff together, they're friends, they've worked together, they're in Dunkin' Donuts commercials together, and that all kind of starts with Good Will Hunting. Mm-hmm. And they must be geniuses if they wrote this. I mean, they came up with the idea and wrote it themselves.
So I wanted to get into that a little bit, but I didn't do any research, so I don't really feel qualified to talk about it.
Sure.
But
listener, we'd love to hear your research on the writing of Good Will Hunting. Well, there's probably a documentary, let's be honest.
There probably is, but I'm thinking, one, how do you get the math right? Because they show enough of it that they need to get it right.
Or is it, I just assumed it was a Breaking Bad situation where they just put mathy looking stuff up there and it's not anything. Like they're just pretending that it's a real thing, but maybe they did. Maybe it's real.
I don't know, because I'm not great at it at all.
Yeah.
By the way, side note, love how when they're writing on the chalkboard, it's not like super neat and
yeah, it's real.
Like that's real writing on a chalkboard.
R.I.P. chalkboards.
The math piece. And then I do think there is something to the trauma piece that we're not, like, I don't remember this being a big deal. Maybe big deal is a bad way to put it, but this is like one of the first times I've ever seen it get that kind of exposure.
The concept of child abuse and what that can do to you.
In the way that they did it in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Could be.
But again, I'm not saying it is the first time. I'm saying this is my first experience with it.
Right. I was going to ask too, as someone that started watching movies earlier than at a year that was before the year, I certainly would not have been watching Good Will Hunting in 1998 because I was 6. Is this one of the first therapists taken seriously movies? Because we have some therapists that are not taken seriously. Therapy is a joke in the 90s. It's like, oh, they're going to hypnotize you or just try to like do baby talk with you and revert you back to whatever. And then it's like, okay, he gets real with them. So in some ways, this movie is sort of a love letter to, or like saying, hey, look, therapy can be a real thing where you actually connect with someone. And is this the first big exposure, like nationwide thing of that?
That I'd seen, but again, that's just based on my own experience. I don't know about other stuff.
Because Frasier is a psychiatrist, right?
Yeah.
And I've not really watched Frasier. Does he take himself seriously? Is he like a real therapist?
Well, okay, I didn't really watch Frasier either, but it is a.
Let's speak authoritatively on Frasier.
I mean, it's branded as a comedy. I thought.
But isn't it because he takes himself really seriously, and so it's making fun of Frasier a lot of the time? I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I just don't know. I feel like now in movies you're more likely to see, like Ted Lasso, for instance, right? Mental health, sports therapist. And at first, the guys are resistant to it, and then they come around on it, and you're more likely to see it that way. But in the 90s, it was, oh, you're going to a shrink, like you're going to a therapist, what's wrong with you? And there's so much of that stigma. And I wonder if this movie was kind of one of the first breakthroughs in knocking that stigma down.
I mean, I can't really answer that again with authority, but it's the first time I've seen it happen.
Tell me conclusively.
But I do love, I think it is worth note, he goes to, what did he say, 5 other therapists?
And just works them.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
and so
rips them up.
I think that's goes to the whole, you have to have a connection with the person that you're talking to. You have to be able to form a connection with that person.
Yeah.
And that wasn't going to happen with any of these guys.
Because they're not looking at him as a person. They're looking at him as a puzzle to solve.
Yeah. as a project.
Which I don't think is what most therapists do, especially now. But at the time, that was, I think, the broad public perception is what I gather from the movies that I've
because
watched.
Even Stellan Skarsgård's whole agenda is, how do I keep you out of jail time and maximize your potential in the mathematic arena, without like doing work?
He's not taking he doesn't send Will to therapy because he believes it's important for him. He just sends it to him because he believes that's checking off a box that the judge wanted. Yeah.
Which, let's talk about that for a second. Will's representing himself, and he's just spewing all of this. Like, the guy has the art of BS down, and you just, like, it's exhausting. I'm listening to him, and I'm exhausted. Yeah. Like, how much does he get by with just wearing people down, and they don't want to put up with his crap anymore?
Well, but the problem is that he also really is, it sounds like he really is quoting real legal precedent. Yeah. And the judge is like, you actually got off on this, on grand larceny because of citing this and that from 1788. Yeah. And so he actually has read up on this stuff. He could really be a lawyer, but it is exhausting. And that's the first time we get a little hint where the judge says something like, and another judge might let you off here after seeing your record as a juvenile, in the way that you were. He talks about him being beat in a bunch of foster homes. Yeah, he references it pretty off the cuff. Then goes, "But I don't care. You beat up a cop, and you can't do that." So, but beat up a cop? Did he beat up a cop? He almost murdered Carmine. Yeah, and I think he flailed backwards and hit a cop. I feel like there might have been some broken noses, or at least some jacked up noses. Maybe. Could be, I guess. In that. But I'm like, he obviously has a rage problem. Yes. Right? Like, just from that scene, you can tell, like, they're going to beat this guy up, and it escalates really quickly. And then his friends are trying to pull him off when the cops come. Yeah. And he's not disconnecting from that. Like, he's still in the high red zone. Yeah, because he's someone that doesn't allow himself to be in touch with his emotions. And so the one emotion that can get through is anger. And then when that gets through, it's got a hold of him. Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about... We haven't once mentioned Minnie Driver. Not since naming that she was in the movie. Yes, we should definitely talk about that. So my question about all of those scenes was like, okay, what am I supposed to be taking away from this? Do we view Will as being on his guard in I'm Will hunting, no one can get in, I'm right about everything mode? Or is his guard actually let down when he's with her? No, I don't think it. I think it's like slowly coming down, but it's not down. Because he lies to her about the brothers thing. Like, he's just trying to like... And I think that's the whole therapy scene where he's like, what if she's perfect right now and I hang out with her and I keep seeing her and then she's not perfect anymore? And Robert Williams is like, welcome to you're just being immature. Like, that's not, like, that's just a gross view of life. It's like, that's such an absolute view. Like, for someone that has learned about the concept of love only by reading Keats and Shakespeare and, I think they really, like... Wordsworth. The best thing about that is they both learned from each other. Yeah, because I wanted Robin Williams to be a little bit less impacted. I didn't love him actually being so hurt about him saying that his painting was bad or whatever. Yeah. I wanted him to be a little bit more above it. But he's not perfect either. Yeah. He is. Because he's still all about my wife, my dead wife, which is like extremely fair, right? That there'd be so much mourning about that. And in the way that I recognize, that was where I most recognized myself in my classroom, is when the kid gets backed into a corner. He's like, oh, look at me, my dead wife. Like he will like crack back at Robin Williams about that and just bring that up just as nothing, just as a way to try to hurt him. Yes. And you're like, why are you're just being mean to me for no reason. Like, this isn't about that, dude. Yeah, and that's why he's like... It's so real. I remembered you're just a kid, and then I never thought of you again. Yeah. Which is like, I'm like, that's what you've told on to. But you asked if his guard is let down when Minnie Driver's around. Yeah. And what I was going to say is I think it lowers, but I think she is the bridge between somebody who's smart and can be smart and be from an upper class kind of
background, but also she's not a snob. She fits in with his friends. She embraces them. Like, she embraces who he is. Everything that he shows her, she embraces.
Yeah.
And I think that's really scary for him.
Because he's going off of his mental image of rich, British, smart people are this, this, and this. And then he actually goes to Harvard and actually meets a jerk in the bar, but then real nice people that like are just sincere humans.
Yeah.
And he's having to be confronted with the fact that he can't just learn everything about life out of his library books.
Yeah. And that he could not go forward and embrace a new life experience.
It's not life. Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
So I think that's the Minnie Driver character. It like forces him to evaluate it. And Robin Williams is like the exposition of this is the decision you're having to make.
Yeah. The Minnie Driver stuff is what they talk about in therapy, but never directly.
Mm-hmm.
It's never referenced that he has a girlfriend till the very, very end. But I think you're right, is that the lessons he's learning with her get said out loud with Robin Williams. It'd be interesting to go back and watch it through that lens.
Yeah.
The back and forth of those. And then you get the random little, like, Casey Affleck scenes, like them in the Little League game.
So my whole thing about Casey Affleck is, okay, let's slow down for a second. Will gets busted solving the equation on the board.
Yeah.
And the professor's like, what are you doing? You can't graffiti here, you little punk, blah, blah, blah.
This is important work.
Yeah. Which is so douchey of like, he's just being horrible. And then Will says he got fired. But when the professor goes to track him down, he didn't actually get fired. The guy's like, he didn't show up for work. So this is just that another case where he's like, well, you know, I'm going to step away before they can hurt me kind of thing.
Absolutely. It's very much a defense mechanism.
Yeah. And then we get the
which is
part
immaturity.
where he's, and this is kind of just so interesting to me. He's walking with the guys. I don't know if they're going into the bar.
That's all they're ever doing.
They're only ever walking. And Ben's character, Chucky, is like, I can maybe hook you up with a job on demo, maybe, you know. And then Casey Affleck's character is like, I just asked you about this. And he's like, and I told you no. And I don't know if I love this or I hate this. I don't know if we're just picking on the Casey Affleck character or if his character is just like so not dependable, reliable. And instead of beating around the bush, Ben Affleck's like, you're not dependable or reliable, so I'm not going to invite you to have a job.
Yeah, I think we just have to trust that. I mean, they're brothers. Like, there's been so much.
Are they brothers?
Well, they're brothers in real life.
They are in real life, but during the whole scene, he's like, "Why are you up there jacking off in my mom's room?"
Yeah, he does say in my mom's room. I don't know if they're brothers in the movie, but
I can find out.
They might as well be. They're close enough, right?
Yes,
and so
for sure.
There's a reason that Ben Affleck isn't just getting him that job.
Right.
You know, and we just trust that, and it doesn't matter. The details of it don't matter. Well, because then he says, like, I thought you got this job at the cannery. He's like, I did for about a day. Now I'm looking again or something. Like he references immediately getting fired because he's a whatever. He's a whatever he is. Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what I like about it is they aren't like they have so wholly just accepted each other for who they are, and they love each other. The four of them.
Yes.
Like, even though he's not going to get him a job or put in a word for him about a job,
he'll drive him around.
He'll, you know, put his sandwich on layaway.
Yeah.
But they love each other, and they're like, they don't have to question that. Like, they know they're there.
And this is exemplified for me in one of the very last scenes when they get in the car. And that is so touching.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like emotional for me because it's extremely, you know, Minnie Driver could buy him a car like that. That's 20 times better with an absolute blink of an eye, right? She's rich. But it's blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, they picked up extra shifts. They are going around behind his back, talking to, like, having this certain mechanic working on this and sourcing different parts of the car from different places. It's a labor of love.
Yeah. And they got it to empower him because they know that he's going to take this job and he's going to need transportation.
They're proud of him for that. He's turning 21. And he is absolutely grateful because he knows how much more of a sacrifice it was for them to do that for him than for anyone else to do the same thing. But he cannot say, wow, guys, thank you. This is so kind. I love you. He has to be like, this hunk of junk is the ugliest. And then they open the hood and it looks like it's a 1945 tractor motor in there or something.
Yeah.
but they all know.
I feel like they got a little teary-eyed.
I think I don't know. It's implied that they're feeling those feelings and they know that he appreciates it, but there just is a shorthand that they cannot say it this way.
So how much of that was us projecting those feelings and how much of it was the actors acting those feelings?
I think it's us projecting those feelings based on the acting we've been seeing them doing. They've built these characters and showed us what this relationship is like. And made it clear without ever saying anyone's salary or how much this car cost or anything like that. I mean, we don't know where, other than that Ben Affleck does construction or does demo to some extent.
We don't know what the other guy does.
We don't know what anyone does really, how often or whatever. But we know that it would have had to be a sacrifice for them to scrounge. We've seen his car, right? Yeah. In order to buy another car, they would have had to make sacrifices. And that's showing without telling. That's movies, baby.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where, we could go through every scene and we'd just be like, yep, it was really good, wasn't it? But we don't have to because people should just go watch this. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's just one of the great movies.
It is. I'm really glad you think that.
I don't know how I didn't come to it sooner, I guess. I mean, because it's right up my alley.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot in there. Like, there's a lot of layers of everything. It's deep,
it's layered, but it's also funny and it's cool. The score is good. I think all like the set design stuff is really good. You can tell when you're at Harvard versus you can tell it feels like you're in England versus you can tell when you're in Southie. So
things that I noticed. One, I actually did check to find out how tall Ben Affleck is. And Matt Damon, who is, what did we say, 5'10", I believe? And here's why I asked that question. Because the first time hold on a second. Let's go back a little bit further even. When he's finding him therapists and he's in the room with them.
Yeah.
What the heck is that about? How about it gets even crazier when his like PA, TA, whatever, is in the room with the professor and Matt Damon and the therapist. Like, really?
I interpret that as Stellan Skarsgård views Matt Damon as his dog, his possession.
Yeah.
Right. I want to get credit for this. I want to make sure everything's being handled in a way that I think is appropriate. I'm his handler.
Yeah.
And not taking the concept of there's trauma in him that needs to be healed. You haven't gotten to know this guy as a person. He needs healing. He doesn't just need money thrown at him. He doesn't just need opportunities thrown at him. You're setting him up for interviews that you don't know anything about this guy and if he'd actually like to work
Which is really, like, he's setting him up for failure.
Absolutely.
Like, without doing any of the work, they're just setting him up for failure.
And this is what Robin Williams says to him at the end when they're like having a fight in his office.
Full-blown fight.
He's like, well, this is what I need. I needed to be pushed. And he's like, not everyone needs the same thing, dude. Like, this guy does not need you to push him because you're going to push him away and it's going to snap and you're never going to see him again.
Yep.
It's going to happen easily.
And they are wailing on each other too. Yeah. Like, I mean, not physically, but they are verbally just nailing each other down. And then Will's like, am I interrupting? I can come back. How awkward.
And it's when we say they're wailing on each other, it's interesting that the stuff that Stellan Skarsgård thinks is going to cut the deepest, like, oh, you just, took the easy way out being a psychiatrist. You were jealous of me. It's like, you don't actually understand this at all. Like, that is not what Robin Williams was. He just like Will doesn't see the benefit in sterile academia and he cares about people. and he cared about his wife and his work-life balance.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've been interpreting that as he was a failure, he didn't live up to his potential, he's jealous of my success, shows more about you than it does about me.
So true. Yeah. Shows more about you. Yep. 100%. What I was originally going to say after I detoured on that whole thing was the first time Will sees Robin Williams' therapist, Sean, he walks up the stairs, like outside of the office, and I'm noticing that he's skipping every other stair. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did notice him skipping steps, yes.
And at the end, Ben Affleck walks up to his house, up to the porch, and he skips stairs. And I'm just like, okay, how tall are these guys? Because as a short person, I have to make a conscious effort to decide if I'm going to skip a step on stairs.
You got to take a running...
And they just do it.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, you're like, yeah. So, and then I'm like, is this a choice that was made for the movie? Did they decide they were going to skip a step? Or is that just Matt Damon and Ben Affleck just like skip steps occasionally? I'm like super curious.
I think it's probably a choice. They probably do it in their regular life to some extent, but it's probably a choice to think, just walk as like the way you think Chucky would walk or the way you think Will would walk. And Will is trying to get places quickly. He wants to make sure he catches the train back, because if not, that's going to be an extra $3 and an extra. He's probably making those calculations. And Ben Affleck's just doing it because he's tall. And that's just natural, and that's just what's easy for him. Maybe those steps are kind of low, or maybe narrow. He knows that one of them squeaks or is unstable, and something like when he's walking up to the apartment or something like that.
Yeah,
just the natural way to do it.
I mean, for a tall person.
Yeah, I don't do it every single time I go up a set of stairs. It just kind of depends.
When you come into our house, do you step on the stair, or do you just go straight to the top?
What?
In the front door.
How many steps are there?
There's two. there's a sidewalk, there's a step, and then there's like the landing. So do you go from the sidewalk to the landing? I go straight to the landing. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Okay.
But those are low rise, those steps.
They are. Yeah. Just curious. Things to think about on our Good Will Hunting podcast. Okay, so you kind of talked about your favorite scene already.
Dog racing? Kind of an ick.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
Didn't age the best.
Did not love that.
The Mini Driver stuff was a lot of, I'm worried that he's going to say something mean or rude to her and the disparaging of her intellect.
He punches the wall right next to her head. And she stuck that out. Like, I was like, wow.
She's got a lot of emotional intelligence to know that that's not really about her. It's that what she's saying is true, and he's wrestling with that and reckoning with it.
Yeah.
Because he's never had someone that he respected enough actually talk to him about his emotions like that.
Yeah.
Which is impressive. But it's a real tightrope act of, oh, you're learning organic chem. Okay, let me just solve this for you. Well, it's easy, I'm not saying it's easy to demean the fact that it's hard for you to do it. I'm just saying it's easy for me. Like, he just has this air quickly of like, no, you don't think he's talking down to you unless he's doing it on purpose.
The other thing I really loved, I agree with that, unless he's doing, like, if he's talking down to you, he is talking down to you and you can tell a difference.
Otherwise, he's just doing it to get over with so that you can go drink with him.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of fun. I appreciate that she's like, I know this isn't hard for you, but I do need to learn it, because there is a difference of learning something to just get it done and get the grade versus learning something to know it because you're going to need to know it.
Absolutely.
Oh,
you listening, any of my students out there?
I just lost it. You were talking about
Mini Driver and her organic chemistry and him talking down to her.
It's totally gone. It was a really good point, too.
You were trying to decide whether or not you would watch this movie again.
Oh, I would definitely watch it again.
So would I. Folks, we'd love to hear what you think Jess was trying to say. We'd love for you to climb inside of her brain.
I was going to say, like, I feel like she's definitely out of his league is what I was going to say.
I don't know.
But that's not what I was thinking that, and I wondered if it hit the point that I was trying to make. And
there's something about the way her eyes are set that it's like okay. I mean, like, she's fine. She's not like, auga, like.
I wasn't talking
you're looking
about,
at me like, why am I saying it like that?
all.
Oh, I thought you were talking about her being hot.
I think she's pretty for sure, but I think like just she is much more mature than he is.
Even though they both had to, well, and that kind of speaks to, they both grew up without their parents, and he gets put in the system and gets beat, and she inherits money, and then how differently do those two lives play out? And she there's parts of it, she doesn't just like love every part of that. She says, I would trade that money back in for another day with my dad.
Yeah.
But the circumstances can really impact even someone that has a head start. I mean, just genetically with whatever is going on with Will Hunting's brain versus her is still a very intelligent woman, you know, by any standard, like real way, normal way to measure that. But the circumstances can really put someone
at a disadvantage.
There's just different. You got to score people in different categories, I think. Yeah.
You do meet them where they are, and you're not comparing apples to apples.
Apples to apples, not my favorite game.
No pun intended.
Barely a game.
I agree.
It's just a discussion, is all it is. One time, I used to play apples to apples when I was a kid, you know, as you do, when it was like a new thing, and the word was dirty, and I put down the word dirt, and someone else, and I didn't get it. I wasn't chosen as like that was the best answer. I'm like, okay, well, this game is no longer
there's no
itches my brain.
For it.
This is no longer
Yeah.
something I'm interested in. Folks, we'd love for you to tell us what you think about how hot Minnie Driver is. Which Skarsgård is your favorite in the year 2025? There's so many Skarsgårds.
So many.
Bill, I like a Bill Skarsgård. He was in Presumed Innocent, I think.
Who's the blonde one?
I don't know. Alexander, maybe?
Yes, I like him.
We'd love for you to contact us at FlabberPod across various social media networks. And where else, Jess?
If you go to bento.me/flabbergasted, you'll have our link to our Instagram, our speak pipe.
Trying to speak that pipe.
A voice note, and our letterbox profile, and just you can reach us there for anything.
We have a letterbox profile? Oh, that's fun. I'll have to follow it.
Do you put... We've watched it is an easy answer. What do you rate the movies that we've watched? You don't rate them. Okay. Just checking, because Rogge and I don't rate movies the same.
I rated this movie on Letterboxd, I think. I put 5 stars. Maybe I didn't rate it. I think I rated it on Letterboxd, though. Yeah, follow us on Letterboxd, comment, like and subscribe, share to your friends. If you are actively a middle schooler, I'm not endorsing you watching this movie given some of the content.
Because it is rated R.
Talk to your parents and make good choices about what you watch.
Make good choices.
We'll see you next time
Bye.
on Flabbergasted in Southie.